Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stavidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yukta Padakamalang Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Vrijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Tina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Rishabhana Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, translation and commentary, His Divine Grace Sri Lesa Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Canto 6, The Prescribed Duties for Mankind is the name of the canto. Text number 19, chapter 11, chapter entitled The Transcendental Qualities of Vritrasura. Okay, please repeat. Suresha Kasman Na Hinoshi Rajram Puraha Stite Vairini Mavyamogam Ma Samsayista Na Kadeva Rajraha Syan Nisfalaha Kripanateva Yajna Suresha Kasman Hitoshni Vrajram Puraha Stite Varini Mavyamogam Ma Samsayistana Kadeva Vrajraha Shanisfalaha Kripanateva Yajna Suresa Kasmanna Hitoshi Vrajram Puraha Stite Varini Mavyamogam Ma Samsayistana Kadeva Vrajraha Shanisfalaha Kripa Nateva Yakshnya Suresa Kasmanna Hitoshi Vrajraham Puraha Stite Varini Mavyamogam Masamsayistana Kadeva Vrajraha Shanisfalaha Kripanata Eva Yajna. Okay. Shivrajram Nisfala Kripana Teva Yagna. Vaishnavis, Suresa Kasmanna Hitoshi Vrajram Purahastite Varini Mavyamogam Masam Sayista Nagadeva Vrajraha Jannisfala Kripanate Vayagnya. Please repeat. Sura Isha, O King of the demigods. Kasmad, why? Naha, not. Hitoshi, you hurl. Vrajram, the thunderbolt. Purastite, standing in front. Varini, your enemy. Mayi, at me. Amogam, which is infallible. Your thunderbolt. Ma, do not. Samsayista, doubt. No, na, not. Gada, eva, like the club. Vrajraha, the thunderbolt. Syat, may be. Nisfalaha, with no result. Kripana, from a miserly person. Artha, for money. Iva, like. Yaknya, a request. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. O King of the demigods, since I, your enemy, am standing before you, why don't you hurl your thunderbolt at me? Although your attack upon me with your club was certainly useless, like a request of money from a miser, the thunderbolt you carry will not be useless. You need have no doubts about this. Please repeat. O King of the demigods, since I, your enemy, am standing before you, why don't you hurl your thunderbolt at me? Although your attack upon me with your club was certainly useless, like a request of money from a miser, the thunderbolt you carry will not be useless. You need have no doubts about this. Purport Srila Prabhupada. When King Indra threw his club at Vitrasura, Vitrasura caught it in his left hand and retaliated by using it to strike the head of Indra's elephant. Thus Indra's attack was a disastrous failure. Indeed, Indra's elephant was injured and thrown back 14 yards. Therefore, even though Indra stood with the thunderbolt to hurl against Vitrasura, he was doubtful, thinking that the thunderbolt might also fail. Vitrasura, however, being a Vaishnava, assured Indra that the thunderbolt would not fail, for Vitrasura knew that it had been prepared in accordance with the instructions of Lord Vishnu. Although Indra had doubts because he could not understand that Lord Vishnu's order never fails, Vitrasura understood Lord Vishnu's purpose. Vitrasura was eager to be killed by the thunderbolt, manufactured according to Lord Vishnu's instructions because he was sure that he would return back to Godhead. He was simply waiting for the opportunity of the thunderbolts being released. In effect, therefore, Vritrasura told Indra, "If you want to kill me, since I am your enemy, take this opportunity. Kill me. You will gain victory, and I shall go back to Godhead. Your deed will be equally beneficial for both of us. Do it immediately." Mukam karoti vachalam bhangam laite girim yad kripa tamaham bande Shri Gurun dinatarinam Suresha Kazman Nahitoshi Vrajram Purah Stite Varini Mavyamogam Ma Samsayista Na Gadeva Vrajraha Shyad Nisfalaha Kripa Nateva Yajna. O King of the demigods, since I am your enemy and now standing before you, why don't you hurl your thunderbolt at me? Although your attack upon me with your club was certainly useless, like a request of money from a miser, the thunderbolt you carry will not be useless. You have no doubts about this. You need have no doubts about this. So this is remarkable, is it not? Indra is in a pickle. He's in a big pickle. Because, well, if we go right back to the immediate beginning, because he didn't respect his guru, Brihaspati, in the assembly of Swagalok. They were having, you remember, the big festival, dancing and beautiful music. Brihaspati entered, and Indra didn't respect him. So he didn't stand up, offer him respect. So Brihaspati left. So all this chain of events that we've been reading about, they all come from that one incident. Of course, that in itself has a chain before that. We're all bound by the chain of events. One event. In the material world, we're all bound by phala, the fruit. And that fruit is the fruit of our calm, lusty activity, and our karma, our activities, deeds and desire. On the basis of our desire, we perform deeds. We think, feel, and will, then we perform activity. This is all resting on the Chatuvyuha. Thinking is under the supervision of Vasudeva. Feeling is under the supervision of Shankarshan. And then willing, right? We think about something, and then we consider it, we feel about it, and then we come to a decision, will. That is under the supervision of Pradyumna. Everything is resting upon the potency of Krishna, the expansions of Krishna. We are not independently creating our thinking, feeling, and willing. In the Chatuvyuha is there in the spiritual world, and it's expanded down into the material world. And so willing means we decide. Sankalp, vikalp. I won't do this. Vikalp, sankalp, I will. Krishna is such a sankalp in the Sat. Whatever he determines will become truth. So if you understand that, you know how to get things done. First convince Krishna. And if Krishna thinks it's a good idea, it will happen. Because whatever he decides comes to being. So, after our sankalp, thinking, feeling, and then willing decision, then kriya, activity. So it all comes back to desire, Ichcha Shakti. Krishna has Ichcha Shakti. We are conscious beings and we have desire, but that is the element, that is the expression of consciousness. This is where the impersonalists exhibit their poor fund of knowledge. They think that consciousness and the voidists should be devoid of desire. The voidists think that if I can stop desire, then I'll be non-existent. I'm compelled to suffer in this world because of desire. So, this is a foolish idea. The activity of the soul is desire, but in the material world it's misdirected. We desire satisfaction for this body. There's 5 elements, 5 pillars of ignorance due to this misdirected desire. First of all, we identify with this gross body. Actually, we don't identify with the soul. We hear again and again, you're not the body, but when we look in the mirror, we think that's me. We don't know, and we forget that the body is the vehicle of the soul. If we could just walk from one side of the temple to the other and remember at the same time that I'm not the material body, that would be a great achievement for us. So, bodily consciousness. And then on the basis of the body we think that happiness of this body is my happiness and is the standard of happiness. Actually, the standard of happiness is Krishna. If we can perform activities, spiritual activities, for the satisfaction of Krishna, that is our happiness in the purified state. That is the nature. That is prem as distinct from kam. And then the third pillar of ignorance is that we claim proprietorship. We think that this is my body, this is my paraphernalia, this is my land, these are my thoughts, these are my cloth, these are my this, these are my that. Ishavasya idam sarvam. Krishna is the creator. We are only partaking of his mercy. Yatkinchat jagadam jagat tena taktena bunjita magrida kashasvitdanam. So we should only take what's necessary. We shouldn't desire other things. And we should understand this is the grace of the Supreme Lord and not become envious. Even in the higher planetary systems, there's a great deal of envy. The Asura want to take the kingdom of Indra, and Indra wants to think that this is mine. So this proprietorship is the cause of all anxiety. That is the next fourth pillar of ignorance, that we are hankering and in anxiety for material things. We don't understand everything is resting upon the Supreme Lord. Everything is the gift of the Supreme Lord, and we should use it in His service as it belongs to Him. And then, Jai, Sri Sri Gaunitai, Krishna Balaram, Radhasham Sundar, Lalit Vishaka, Giri Govardhan, Shalagram Maharaj, Gomata Tulsi Maharani, Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. So we don't understand. So we are hankering, and then society, we lament. Live in hope, die disappointed. We lose everything. Oh, I'm going to be this. If we achieve some small little opulence of fame and fortune in this world, we lament on our deathbed. Live in hope, die disappointed. Live liberated and die to live. That is the Vaishnava system. So this ignorance covers us because our goals are material. And the demigods, at least they understand that. Though they are attached to the material facility, as Indra embodies here, at least they are favorable to the Supreme Lord. The Asura is unfavorable. Actually, Asura, the demigods, administrative, or those enjoying in Swargaloka according to their fruit of their karma, they are called Sura. Sura means very pleasure. So they become free of anxiety, so they can actually feel pleasure. With anxiety, if you're in anxiety, you cannot feel any pleasure, material or spiritual. Of course, spiritual anxiety is a different class. But if you're in material anxiety, there's no happiness. So the asura is against the sura. So we see that here in this chapter. The demons, as they're called, the asura, they're envious of the sura because they see they're enjoying better than us. And we want their things, we want their position. So Indra is being taught that this attachment to power and position is not good. He's been taught by Vitrasura. So why is he called Vitrasura? The chapter title is The Transcendental Qualities of Vitrasura. He has transcendental qualities. He's removed from this desiring of material elements and the claiming of proprietorship. Why? Because he has bhava. He has bhava for the Supreme Lord. He has attachment for the Supreme Lord, based on his realization that everything is resting upon the Supreme Lord, Parasya Shakti Vididayavya Suryate. And he's non-envious of Indra. This is the quality of the devotee, non-envious. We cannot be devotee of Krishna and then envy his parts and parcels, friends and enemies. That is not devotion. That is not the bhakti platform. All the living entities, they are Krishna's expansions. Vidideva, Vibhinangsa, Angsa, Mabhaivangsa. They belong to Krishna. Krishna is the owner of all the living entities. So we cannot say, I love Krishna, but I don't like your soul. I don't like this soul. I like this one. This one's my friend. This soul's my enemy. What is that? Oh, but I love you, Krishna, but I hate him. Well, that's me. That's me. That's my part and parcel. How you can hate me, Krishna is saying. Mavaivangsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So if you want to actually be Vaishnava, if you want to come to Madhyama platform, you have to meditate on all the living entities as Krishnas, belonging to Krishna. They belong to him. And you can't say, I love your face, darling, but I hate your nose. I like your hands, but your fingers are ugly. We can't be devotee of Krishna and then be inimical to his parts and parcels. Of course, if they're demoniac, devotee, Madhyamadikari is advised to consider 4 things. He offers the worship to Krishna. He makes friendship with the devotees. He gives mercy to the Balisha, those that are ignorant but are not overly against Krishna, the Supreme Lord. And Upeksha, he avoids the supremely envious demoniac, the Rakshasa. But he doesn't dislike them, but he's neutral. So this is very important. It doesn't mean to say that I love everyone, and therefore I embrace a snake. No, you give respect to the snake. How? Keeping your distance. So if you find somebody is envious, demoniac, he's asura, and that is the natural quality of the demoniac. They're against devotee. They're against the Supreme Lord, but they can't find him, they can't see him, they don't believe in him, so I'll attack his devotees instead. Just like Hiranyakashipu, we'll see in the next chapter. Right? He was very angry with Prahlad, because he was a devotee. The fact that it was his son didn't count for anything. He was ready to kill him. But, of course, Prahlad is under the shelter of Krishna. So the devotee, he realizes that everything is resting upon the Supreme Lord. Vasudeva, Shankashan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. The fruit of the son of Pradyumna is activity. That is supervised by Aniruddha. So we're thinking, feeling and willing. And that is weaving a web. Indra, just like we're here now, all together. So the web of our particular desire and activity has brought us into this point. We're all gathered here now, right? In the temple. And that's all, we've all performed desire and activity, and that's all gathered us here today. And it's explained there in the Bhagavatam that just like in a river, different branches and leaves and twigs, they come together at a certain point, and then they break apart. They come together in a different mixture. So this is how life is, no doubt. According to the fruit of our activity. This is the point. We're performing activity on the basis of karma, of desire, but then the fruit is coming and kicking us like a football. Right? Like the football may think, I'm free, I'm independent. But he's in the middle of all the soccer players, or football players we'll say, and he's being kicked here and there. So we're being kicked here and there by the fruit of our karma, and we're maneuvering a little bit, and we're thinking, no, I'm in perfect control. No. Many things will come, their impositions, because of karma phal. Parabdha karma, aparabdha. Manifest that which is lying at seed, aparabdha, not yet manifest. So we're all bound. Now Vitrasura, he is full of bhava. It's called Vitrasura, born out of that fire yagya. Why? Because after Brihaspati was offended, he left that assembly, then the demigods, they lost their potency. So they were advised by Brahma, I think, yes, to get the Narayan Kavach. They had lost their position in Swargalok. So you get the Narayan Kavach of Vishwarup, who's the son of Takshva, a great Muni. So Vishwarup gave them the Narayan Kavach, and they were able to dispel the demons, the Asura, from Swargaloka. But then Vitrasura on his mother's side has a connection to the Daityas. And so he was giving a portion after re-establishing Indra through his Yagya and the Narayan Kavach. He was offering a portion to the Asura. When Indra found out, he didn't take this okay. No, he became very angry and he killed Vishwarup. So of course this upset the father, Tashva. So he performed a yagya, he was a great Muni, and he invoked Vitrasura, Asura, to chastise Indra. But Vitrasura, being the son in that way of Tashva Muni, was a devotee, because Tashva Muni is a great sage, a great rishi. You cannot attain any semblance of knowledge or bhakti or realization without bhakti. Any knowledge or realization without devotion to the transcendental Lord. So we might think these stories are extraordinary. How is it possible that you can have a son from a fire yagya? So I was listening to a lecture by Sataputta and discussing the layout of the universe. That came in the 5th canto. There's about 250 slokas on the layout of the universe. So people read them and think that from 250 slokas I'll get an idea of how the universe... Yes, you may get some sketch of the universe, but if you think you're going to tie it all down, right? The material scientists, they've been looking at the atom and molecule. Remember when we were in school, we were told electron, protons, neutrons, and now they say there's quarks also, and there's Higgs boson particle, and then there's neutrinos. So even they can't figure out how a single atom works. So do you think that from 250 slokas in the Bhagavatam you're going to get a definitive picture, ins and outs of the material universe? When you are limited in your own perception, just like a bull is tied to a rod and he walks around and around, so we're tied to the perceptions of this material body and this material mind on this material plane, and we think that we can understand the vision of the great Sukadeva Goswami, how Lord Brahma sees the universe when he comes to earth should be exactly the way we see it. This is foolishness, to think that our perception is the measure of everything. Of course, this shows the foolishness of the materialist. He does, because he's a spirit soul, he wants to find absolutes. Do you understand? He's got an innate desire in his ignorance to find some absolute. But unfortunately, he's thinking he'll find absolutes in the material energy. Krishna says in the Gita, the material energy is endlessly mutable. Why is it endlessly mutable? Because it's all resting upon him. Just sutre mani gana iva, yad yad vibhuti mat satram srimat urjitam evava. Everything in this material world is just a spark of my splendor, Krishna says. And it's all resting upon me. It's endlessly mutable. I'm the absolute. I'm the only absolute. Krishna is the absolute. The material laws are not absolute. Everything is mutable according to Satya Sankalp, the Supreme Lord. Just like my beads are resting upon the thread, when the thread moves, I can make them into 2 rounds or 3 rounds or 1 round, right? If you move the thread, then the layout of the beads are also affected. So the material laws, they rest upon the potency of the Supreme Absolute, Krishna. Abhigya Swarat, in the first verse of the Bhagavatam, everything is resting upon Krishna. Our thinking, feeling and willing is resting upon Vasudeva, Shankashan, Pradyumna, Adiruddha. Everything is resting upon him. He's the absolute. And as we see in 10th canto, if he wants to make one night into the length of Lord Brahma, one day of Brahma, right, in the Ras Leela chapter, then he can dance for 1,000,000 billion earth years in one night. Everything is mutable according to his desire. That is not to say there are not regularities, physical laws and chemical combinations, but they are all resting upon the thread of Krishna. Like a gross example, there are traffic laws, even in India. People don't follow them very well. I think there may be some traffic laws. Anyway, but the Prime Minister, when he comes to Vrindavan, he doesn't follow. He drives on any side of the road. They stop all the traffic. He can stop in the middle of the motorway and have a picnic if he likes. Nobody will protest. So Krishna, all the laws are resting upon him, Satya Sankalp. If he decides that gravity will work backwards, then we'll all fly up in the sky. Of course, that's unlikely. So there are regularities. You understand? But they are resting on the grace. But the materialist doesn't want to admit the lawmaker. He's searching for the laws. He's thinking that in chemical analysis or with a telescope, microscope, that I will find some absolute. Like they always say, the speed of light is absolute. But they've been discovering now, actually, that 100 years ago, the speed of light was different. Did you know that? There's a discussion about that on the internet. They found that the speed of light is different, and that nothing can exceed the speed of light, but actually, they've found now in their experimentation that some neutrinos are going faster than the speed of light. So they're looking for absolutes, but in the wrong place. The lawmaker, they say there's a creation, but they won't say there's a creator. They say there's a painting, but they won't say there's a painter. They say there's a production, but there's no producer. They see everything is maintained, but there's no maintainer. So this is asura. This is the demoniac mentality. They don't want to admit the absolute truth, the cause of all causes, janmadhyashyata. This is their mistake. They have a revulsion against the idea that anyone is superior to me. I want to be that superior, like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu. By austerity I will get the job of being God. I'll kill Vishnu. They have some foolish idea. Well, nobody, they haven't managed it yet. And we can be assured it will not. Thank God. Thank Krishna for that. So anyway, Indra is in a pickle. And he doesn't believe, this is what Vitrasura is pointing out, he doesn't believe that this thunderbolt will actually kill. He's in a pickle. I threw the club and he caught it with his left hand, and then he bashed Gajendra. And so he put his hand and he cured Gajendra, and it comes to the same point, that we think that the laws that we're experiencing here in this section of Bhumandala, that they are absolute throughout the universe. No, but Indra, it explains there in the Bhagavatam, he has a nectar-producing hand. He fixed Airavata with a touch. And he was shocked to see the potency of Vitrasura. And here's Vitrasura saying, hey, look, why don't you throw the thunderbolt? It's powerful. It's made according to the directions. You already, first you kill Vishvarup, and now you've taken the body of Darichi, right? Indra is getting into a complicated affair. But now you don't believe. So this is the materialist, because he believes still in this, the potencies are all depending upon me. But the devotee knows, like Prahlad, he's just meditating on Vishnu, and he cannot be touched by Hiranyakashipu, because he knows that Hiranyakashipu, everything, every atom and molecule is moving according to the will of Krishna, by the sanction of Krishna. He knows. Sutre manigana iva. So therefore everything is the mercy of Krishna. So Vitrasura understands the potency of the Supreme Lord, and that he is Satya Sankalp, and so he's made this thunderbolt, and it's for my destruction. Very nice. So he's also, Dahichi is detached from his body, right? He gave up his body. Okay, you want my body, why not? Right? If somebody asks us, please give me your kurta, we'll say, what, my kurta? This is specially made for me. No, but Dahichi is saying, okay, you want my body, never mind my kurta. Because he's fixed in understanding of the absolute truth. Param Satyam Dhimahi, he's absorbed in thought of Krishna. The absolute Lord. He has directed Indra, to make a thunderbolt from my bones. So, okay, if that's Vishnu's plan, do so. So, that is a great understanding, is it not? That we should understand this detachment that is being taught by Dahichi and Vitrasura. We are so attached, and we are so in the conception that I am the doer, and we've been programmed by material education, material propaganda, to think that there are physical laws and they are absolute, and eventually we'll find them out, and then by finding out how the atoms and molecules work, then we'll be able to conquer this material universe, just like a big Rakshasa. That's always the goal. We will exploit the material energy even better when we know how it works. There's nothing beyond this material energy. There is no supreme absolute. There is no great witness. This is the material conception. This is the demoniac conception. But Vitrasura, all his Asura army, they were running away when they saw the demigods attack upon them. But Vitrasura stood there. Why be fearless? I'm not the body anyway, I'm an eternal soul. So he was a great soul, transcendental qualities of Vitrasura. So he was ready even to die. So now I'll just think of Krishna like Dahichi. He withdrew his consciousness from his material body and he went to Krishna. Where Krishna wants, I will go. So in the same mentality, Vitrasura is thinking, yes, I'll give up this body. And I was reading just last night actually, in his teachings, first he's addressing Indra, chastising him for his lack of faith in this particular section. But then he addresses the Supreme Lord. You should all read those. It's very wonderful what he says. There's one sloka I'll refer. Yes, the last sloka is very good, because this is the essence of the path of Rupa Raghunath that we are following. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds have not yet developed their wings, always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mother, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects. I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. So in this material world, people are yearning, hunkering, but this is the quality of a devotee, and this is taught by Rupa Raghunath. This is the essence of bhakti, that we should not just mechanically run through the bhakti, but we should be yearning. Nayanam gladasrudharaya. Yes, we're servant of Krishna. We may be absorbed in the knowledge here, but the knowledge should liberate us from material affection, and then in that liberated condition, we must yearn for the service of Krishna, the service of the devotees. Krishna fulfills. What is that sloka? Nityo nityanam chaitanas chaitananam eko bahunam yodadati kamam. There's one supreme, conscious, living, eternal. And he is fulfilling all the desires of the other eternals. You understand? So, he will fulfill our desire, just like Vitrasura is yearning. Oh Lord, take me into your service. So, Vaidhi is good, putting on tilak, going Mangalarti, chanting rounds, but we should imbue our Vaidhi practice with yearning, right? Nityananda Prabhu has said, I have opened a marketplace for the holy name. I'm selling the holy name. He's not wanting money. He's not in Loy Bazaar. He says, how do you get the holy name? Namani Chintamani Krishnas. That beautiful holy name that is a touchstone that will fulfill and give all rasa, rasavai saha. You must have lolam. You must have desire. You must desire. And then the Supreme Lord will fulfill. Just like Indra, he's tied together here in this pickle because he desires to be the king of heaven. But this whole situation is the mercy of Krishna upon him also, because he's learning, what is this? One great sage is giving up his body like you give up a kurta. Here's Vitrasura telling me to kill him. And I'm just an attached materialist. So Indra is also learning, just like in the Govardhan Leela. So Krishna is bringing along everyone in this way. But if we understand the method given by Rupa Raghunath in the line of Mahaprabhu, what is that method? That we should just yearn, we should desire Krishna and his service and the service of his devotees. And we should understand, if we want to come to the platform of devotion, like I say, we should understand that that means service of his devotees. Gopi Bhata Kamalayo Dasa Das Anudas. Yes, Jivera Swarupoi Krishnera Nityadas. So we are the servant of Krishna, but we serve the devotees of Krishna. Just in the same way the Asuras, they try to cause trouble to the devotees, the Sura tries to serve the devotees. And then we can live together in great harmony and all go back to Godhead together. That's very pleasing to Krishna. Oh, he's pleasing my parts and parcels. He's considerate to my parts and parcels. He's giving instruction. He's giving mercy. He's giving protection to my parts and parcels. Therefore he's one of mine. Because we are all resting upon Krishna. Dahichi knows that. Vitrasura knows that. So Indra is learning that from his situation. So everything is resting upon Krishna. And so we should understand that. Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. You please pick me up. Pick me up, Krishna. You can pick me up. This is bhakti. We rely on Krishna just like here. The calves relying on the cow to give them milk. It is the nature of the mother to give milk to the calf. It is the nature of Krishna to do good. Suridam Savabhutanam, right? To his living entities. So instead of being Bahirmukh, we should be Antirmukh. Yes, Krishna. I accept you're the absolute truth. Please lead me on the right path. Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sadhu Sangha, Ki Jai. Any question?
If I recall reading that one of the reasons for the pastime of Kesidamana being cursed, we look at why that happened. It was a pastime of glory.
Can you speak more clearly? Your hand over the mic is muting the sound. A little more close. Go ahead.
The reason Kesidamana originally got cursed was manifold, to show the glories of the devotee. And I also recall hearing that to magnify or increase his prema, so that when he took birth as Vitrasura, he'd go back to God. Can you comment on that? Is that correct? Understood?
Well, it's clear, isn't it? The devotee, Krishna glorifies his devotee. He may even put them into distress, like we see in the Pandavas, so that the devotional qualities become evident. You understand? And that becomes a teaching to the materially conditioned. Just like Dahichi's detachment, Vitrasura's detachment. This is a great teaching, is it not? So Chitraketu, yes, he was in his flower aeroplane and said, oh Lord, this is Lord Shiva, and Parvati sitting on his lap, on the left. So just to glorify the Supreme Lord, he put the words of a materialist before Lord Shiva. Now, Lord Shiva could understand, that he's like glorifying me. Just like Shishupal, he was glorifying Krishna. He was saying, who is this Krishna? Nobody knows who he is. Is he a cowherd boy or a Kshatriya? Where does he come from? Is he the son of Vasudeva or is he the son of Mother Yashoda? It seems like he has no father, right? So Chitraketu, Lord Shiva could understand. Oh, you are the symbol of renunciation, Lord Shiva, and you're sitting there with Parvati on your lap. So Lord Shiva could see that Chitraketu was saying, you're so renounced, you're such a great yogi that your embodiment of beauty, Parvati, is sitting there, but you're still immersed in samadhi of the Supreme Lord. So, but Parvati took offense, right? So that also Parvati, she's not covered, but she's thinking, well, now just let's make sure that this is not misunderstood. So we have to understand their level of consciousness, their level of thinking through contemplation. Yasya deve prabhakti, yasya deve tataguru, teshyate kahitatha prakasante mahatmana. If you have faith in Krishna and Guru, then everything is automatically revealed. You see, in the material world, people are in Maya Shakti, but in the transcendental world, and so they're in illusion, they're always making misperception, Maya aprita gyan. But in the transcendental realm, everyone is situated in knowledge. Every thought is enlightenment. They're realizing Krishna, right? So the insight, the Bhagavatam, Paramo Nimacharanam Satam, all the aspects of the Bhagavatam, they're revealed to the non-envious. So Parvati's part in that Leela, Chitraketu's part in that Leela, Lord Shiva's part in that Leela, these are all revealed to the devotee, the liberated soul. Paramo Nimacharanam Satam. In the material world, everyone is in ignorance because of this envy. They envy. They don't like friends and enemies. They don't understand everyone is part of Krishna. The energies of Krishna are everywhere. They don't have bhava for Krishna. So they're in mistaken consciousness. But the Bhagavatam Paranaka Dunodita, it enlightens us if we contemplate. So these Leelas and the commentary of the great Acharyas, they should be contemplated with great accent. We should consider that these great personalities, they are performing these Leelas and they've been accumulated by Vyasadeva in the Bhagavatam for our understanding. And if we study in that way, with faith, with Shraddha, that will bring us out of confusion. You see the point? And we'll see that one of the most important aspects of the Bhagavatam is to bring forth the importance of the devotees. Because the Supreme Lord may not be a manifest to us, the Supreme Absolute Lord. But the devotees are. So, what's that verse? Sadhanam hridayam twaham, sadhanam hridayam mayam. That the sadhu, the person situated in realization of Krishna, is non-different from the heart of Krishna. Only I am in their hearts, and they are my heart. They know no one but me, and I know no one but them. Right? This is in the end of the Bhagavatam. It's very important. So if we treasure the association and service of the Bhakta, this will bring us out of confusion, out of the Maya Shakti. So one large part of the Bhagavatam, and you see that what is the Bhagavatam? It is ultimately a description of interaction between Krishna and his devotees. Is it not? Each story is about that. Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Chitraketu, it's all about Jad Bharat, and ultimately the 10th canto. It's all about relationship between Krishna and his devotees. So every incident in the Bhagavatam is to teach us. Our problem is that we're not relating to Krishna. We're relating to our own mental confusion. But we should understand, Vasudeva, Shankarsan, Pradyumna, Adiruddha, everything is resting upon Krishna. And we should learn to realize the presence of the Supreme Lord within our own heart. And sadhana bhakti means to learn to reciprocate with Krishna at every moment. So the Bhagavatam and the elucidation of devotional qualities of the devotees, we should contemplate them in that light. That will purify us. And then we'll see into the Bhagavatam more deeply. Does that answer your question? Okay, so we'll finish on that point. So don't push in front of anyone in the queue for prasad. Okay, Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sadhu Sangha ki jai.